Okay, I'll get the other machine running. It's running here. Keep an eye on this. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen now. You and me here. Okay. All right. Okay. So Melissa, welcome to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. I just realized I need to get one more thing up here. Still getting used to this new Zoom, the way they do it. Doesn't always, it's not so easy to use, I found. I can't find some of the things I need. Hang on, I found it. Share the screen. Okay. So welcome to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. This is a free webinar, and for the YouTube viewers, I'm Nicolas David Ngan, the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and we're going to help you. We're going to share with you how we market things at Centre for Conscious Ascension.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, because lots of people ask us how we run this business, and so we're going to share. We'll give you a taste of some of the things we do. This is a taster of the workshop, Marketing Manifesting a Business, running on the 20th and 21st of June 2026.
Okay.
It's the first couple of hours. Almira Ariel Haller, who set this up, and we learnt a lot of things, mostly the hard way. 25 years, 30 years doing this work. Or how do you actually how do you make a spiritual business work? And it is challenging. Okay, requires a lot of grit, focus, because you're trying to get a 5D love service-based business out into a 3D world. And my mission really is to help you guys manifest your mission of service, discover and manifest your mission of service. And I left the corporate world in '97, and I really struggled to figure out how this worked, because I've been brought up in a corporate structure, high-tech satellite communication business, big procedures and manuals. There's a certain way of doing things. And when I left that to do this, I had no structure at all. What do I do now? So I've learned all this the hard way. So my aim here is to help you guys do it the easier way. I won't say it's easy, but easier. So I'm going to share some of the secrets of how we market and manifest Centre for Conscious Ascension. Because we're still here, nearly 30 years on, we're still alive.
Right.
I wasn't sure we were going to make it in the first couple of years when we first started this. So, sorry, Melissa, why are you here? What's your intention?
Oh, that's a good question because my husband is very non-woo-woo. I mean, he grasps concepts from here and there, right? He's done like plant medicine in Costa Rica. He's done a few things where few of the people in the business world have touched base on, like sound healing, things like that. But he still feels like my pitch is too woo-woo. Um, and I can see he just looks very confused when I share information with him. So I kind of want to break through that where maybe I am too woo-woo, and I would like to really connect because with the level 3 that I took with you, I really would love to work with him with more leadership teams and bring it in as for instance, now with him placing people to say, these are people that could be a project manager or, they would be amazing in like research, things like that, but not in such a woo-woo state, I guess. So I've really been trying to bring it back.
Okay. So you're trying to make this more spiritual work, accessible to the 3D business world who are open to it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I formed a management consultancy back in 2017 with friends, which I was in for 3 or 4 years. we took this whole contract work plus other heart-based work out into the corporate world to those who are open. So have done that, and it was quite challenging. It was nearly 10 years ago, taking this work out in a way that's accessible to people. So I had a lot of experience of that. But I came back to this because I love doing this more, and this was the more esoteric stuff because it's faster. It will take
Me
us
too. Yeah, I love
9 to
it.
12 months to convert a client, whereas we can take 9 to 12 minutes or days to convert a client in this, and people engage much faster.
Yeah.
And I just found it a bit too slow for my liking.
Hmm.
So I left that after 3 or 4 years because I had too much on anyway. So for you guys watching, you can answer these questions and write them down as you go, okay? So this is more a we're helping you guys transition from 3D mindset of the matrix, which is based upon maximizing return on investment at any cost, which has obviously led to a big mess in the world, to maximizing consciousness, which is a more 5D love-based paradigm, which is what we're going to teach you. It's the biggest thing in running, being a spiritual entrepreneur is to make the mindset shift from 3D to 5D, service-based. Where service and love and raising consciousness is a bit ahead of making a living. It's a few percent behind, but it has to be more. It has to be more. Has to be the primary focus is to be of service with love to the world, because then the bills will get paid anyway. But that's not something the 3D business world understands. Okay, because it's made money a religion, it's a god. Now we're going to maximize return on investment at any cost, but no one says, well, why are you doing that? What impact is that doing on the world? It's created a massive mess. So never asked that. So the little old lady whose pension is funded by big corporates who destroy the world doesn't question what they're doing. But if she knew what was going on, then maybe things would be different. So, what do you think a spiritual entrepreneur is, Melissa? Just your first response to that, because we're working with mindset here, really.
Being able to bring on clients and have them pay what I'm charging them, and building something that's going to be long lasting.
Okay. So, well, here's what I think it is, my opinion, for what it's worth. It's someone who's actualizing their soul journey through the expression of their soul purpose through their spiritual business. See, most people think of their business as here's me, here's my business. It's a separate entity, it's a third party.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of visit it 9 to 5 and I run my business.
Yeah.
Whereas what I'm saying is that spiritual business is where you're here and you're manifesting this business as a hologram of energy around you. And it's a natural extension of your soul journey. You and the business are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is a completely different attitude, approach to the whole idea. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely when you asked me that, I could definitely already see myself embracing that because my destiny really is empowering myself and then being catalytically and empowering everyone else. It's the nine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the internal journey we travel on determines how our spiritual business manifests. So if we have a blockage, say, to feeling worthy to be loved, that's going to affect how our business is seen by the world because they're one and the same thing. So you can think of your spiritual business as a hologram, an extension of your own journey. So if you work on your unworthiness and clear that, then the business makes more money, brings more clients in because the business feels more worthy. So it gives you feedback. When things are slow, it means you got to work on yourself, clear yourself, business gets cleared, things move forward. Okay. So it's a learning process, it's a continuous learning process.
Mhm.
So how do you become one of these? How do you become a spiritual entrepreneur? Because we're all imprinted and brainwashed by how the matrix works, or how money is. And so it's about stepping out of that, letting go of that imprint.
Mhm.
So we need to begin with the end in mind. It comes from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Success or Successful People. And the end in mind is the delivery of your soul's gift of service to the world. Okay. So what's your gift, Melissa?
Well, my gift is definitely, I feel like it's very much coming as one, that masculine and that feminine empowerment that I'm able to fully embrace and then empower others through my own self-trust, where they're allowed to trust me. And also just kind of express this out, what full consciousness is into society through emotions, through healing, through being able to be very magnetic. Because I feel like I have really, I feel everything's ongoing, right? Like even if I say I've healed my heart, having those sevens in my spiritual talent, I definitely feel like there's going to be stuff still, in there that's going to come up, that's going to still kind of poke at me. But I feel like if I don't tip over like I used to, it just shows me that I'm able to really fully embrace this and then be able to be that person that doesn't come from like more of a tainted experience. Because I do feel that from some healers that they're still kind of, I don't want to use the word tainted, but still are working through their journey and I don't really connect with them.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you've got your gift of service and you're here to deliver it to your dream client avatar. So that's just spiritual marketing speak for the ideal client that you love working with and they love working with you. So there's two components here. So a business is energy. So here's your gift of service. I'm going to change color here. Here's your ideal client avatar. Where they meet in the middle, they connect. This is your business. They come to get what you can give them. Okay. And if you can get that energy worked out, the rest is detail. That means your business starts to happen. Okay. So Center for Conscious Ascension, we're well renowned for having the most cutting edge spiritual technologies to ascend. We develop them ourselves or enhance the ones we've learned. And for dedicated light workers who are our ideal client avatar like you, who will do whatever it takes to awaken and get on with their mission. Okay. So that's how that's what we're delivering to the world. Okay. And it's for people who're very experienced, usually who've been on the journey a long time. Although we get some newbies who are just really woken up in a hurry. Most people are like you, who've done it a long time. So let's talk about this gift of service. What you're most passionate about and love to do. You do it for nothing, if you see. But it does help to get paid to have some energy exchange. Okay. And this is found in your soul contract, physical and spiritual aspects and soul destiny. So for you guys watching on YouTube, in the description you can go to the website soulcontractreader.com and you can generate your soul contract. Simply enter your name and your date of birth. So you get 4 free charts, and then you can find out about what that means with my book, Your Soul Contract Decoded. So just go to yoursoulcontractdecoded.com. It'll tell you, you explain your entire life from that chart. Okay. And if you're in a hurry, you can go to yoursoulcontractreport.com. I think it's Your Soul Contract Report, either yoursoulcontractreport.com or yoursoulcontractreports.com. And then that you can just type your name in, and for a fee, a bit more than the book, you can get 140 pages, which explains everything and how to go about doing it. Okay. So we're going to do a little exercise here, just you and me, Melissa, to find out what your gift of service is. So what I want you to do is just tune into it and tell me as best you can all the details of it. And I'm going to write down keynotes and I'm going to feed it back to you. It's a mirroring process so that when you hear it back, some of the things you say maybe for the first time, so don't hold back. When you hear it back, what will happen then is it reinforces in your own mind. It's not just in your head, it's actually starting to become real in the world. Okay. So just have a few minutes just to share that, or as long as you need. Okay. Your gift of service. Just go into more detail now.
So for my gift of service, I definitely feel like I am really here to be a catalyst and really a trigger for people to work through their own journey, and bring up things that may be lingering that they're not aware of. And I love to do the chakra work because I feel like a lot of times we've had big triggers or big impacts that kind of block those developments. And I feel like I can kind of tune into which one may have been working more into more the shadow side. So I love to bring that information up for them so they can kind of come in and really believe in themselves in the way of retrusting themselves to work through this process and know that they're not in that place of separation from who they truly are. And because I feel like I've been able to walk it myself, I was able to really work through my own things when I actually had my own soul contract done. I've done so much work before this, and this was the thing that really was my aha moment to say, I'm going to focus on this and not chase everything else and just expand this. And since I've expanded it and I really worked through what my challenges were, like big things were disempowerment and trust, and really finding that I wasn't as grounded and had as many boundaries as I thought I did. And once I did, I was able to really come in to build that structure. And it was slow process, but once I built that structure, I feel like now I can build something really proficient and then bring people in, and do the same. Because I really just want to bring people in as like the lighthouse and say, hey, you can come into my house, come from a higher perspective, and you can do this work as well. That's kind of my thing.
Okay. I'll give you some feedback. So I want you to close your eyes. Okay. It's maybe the first time you've heard it, but coming back to you. So I heard that you're a catalyst for people to work through their soul journey, specifically with your chakra work. So, and you use that to tune into the shadow side of people, the bit they really want to work on, so they can work through things. And you've decided to focus on this work rather than chase everything else. And in the process, you work through lots of issues of disempowerment and trust or lack of trust within yourself, and discover that you weren't as grounded as you thought you were. Okay. And so basically, you're bringing people into the light out of the dark. How does that sound?
Sounds great. I want to be the lighthouse that literally can say, like, you can find the shore from the storm.
Yeah. So just close your eyes, just absorb all that. The universe is just mirroring to you. Because we have these
Mhm.
thoughts in us, okay, all the time, but we never actually say it out loud. Sometimes some of you guys practicing here may say, if you say it out loud for the first time, or do it with a partner, say it out loud for the first time, it starts to become real. And because sometimes you think, oh, this is just the noise of my soul or my ego, but actually it's coming from the soul, the stuff. So just feel that. Breathe it in. How's that feel? Having it coming into your
Feel
body.
very aligned.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go to the next bit here. Normally you do this in pairs, but the main thing is to just experience it yourself. So, okay, we have our lovely gift of service, bringing people out of darkness into and shadow into light. Who is my audience? Who is your audience? Is anybody out there? Everyone who just starts on this path thinking, oh, I've got all these, I've learned all this stuff, I've been to these workshops. Is anyone out there who wants to buy this? It's quite a challenge. I remember trying to work this out for many years. So we need to get very specific on who these people are, because the initial instinct when we first start this work is I need to market everybody to get somebody to come. But what that does is that scatters your manifestation energy all over the place. So by the time it gets out to the world, there's not much landing on anyone because it's just too dispersed. Because we only have so much energy we can send out. So what it's better to do is to decide who, this is my ideal client avatar here, out of all the people in the world who could be interested. So I'm going to focus on the ideal person, because we put all our focus, laser focus on the right type of people, and they will come. So you think about what gender they are, what age range, what income level, the level of consciousness, the degree of commitment to the spiritual path they have, how spiritually evolved they are, and most importantly, where do they hang out physically and digitally? Okay, because we know if we have intention in our mind on who these people are and focus on that, then you're more likely to get them because they'll resonate. Okay, they'll feel, Melissa's trying to help me, so I'm going to respond to what she's on about with her marketing. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again, but this time, what sort of gender do you appeal to, or one male, female, or both?
Both.
Okay, is there a majority?
I think at this point it is more women that are stepping up.
Yeah. Okay. What percentage of them are women?
Definitely probably 90%.
90%, yeah. Yeah, we're about 80%. So, okay. So we're getting there. So it's all about intention. So what sort of age range?
Yeah, age range is an interesting question because I've had the early like 23, 24, which are really, I think, coming into that higher purpose, really coming into that connection. But I feel like those are the ones that are more grasping onto this. But when I work with more of the 35 to 40, I'm definitely feeling those are the ones that are really coming through the mud run a little more. So that percentage definitely is probably a good 60%. And then I've gotten that 50, 60, 70, which is, they've already kind of like I think that with map you have, they're definitely kind of already coming into what their mastery is and uh, coming into what their inner truth is more versus, leaving that stuff kind of more behind versus that younger age range. So the people that I think are really attracted to who I am so far, it's been a kind of a blend. Um, I would say my big part right now is I think I'm really tracking that same age range like me, like that 46 to 55 right now. But I've had a little, younger, I have a little older. Um, so it's been kind of a blend.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of income level, what sort of income range do these guys have?
See, that's a tricky one too. I feel like a lot of them have been more of a struggle. Mhm. So, if I had to guess, um, and I'm feeling a lot of them are like maybe not in a partnership too. Um, maybe 50,000, I'm thinking. I feel like they're just getting by, a lot of them, because I'm feeling that in my heart where I'm like really kind of wanting to be that service soul. Um, and want to give them that, more of a preview, but then I feel like I go a little too far.
Okay. What do you mean by preview? You're giving taste to subcontract readings.
Like a taster, yeah.
Okay. Are you giving them too much, are you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better to give one key point, otherwise you give them a lot and they come for the full reading, which is where they get the great depth. It's quite hard to discipline yourself just to give the key
Yeah, that's
points.
why I'm here.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what level of consciousness are these guys at? Are they just waking up, or they've been on the path a long time, or somewhere in the middle, or
I think they're just kind of somewhere in the middle, just waking up.
okay. And what degree of commitment do they have to the spiritual path?
I think they're like the pupils. They're really kind of coming in, kind of fencing on that pupil teacher level where they want to, that their goal is to really absorb a lot of this and kind of be a healer themselves. But I think they're kind of still seeking that chasing, um, where they're kind of all over the board at this point, like Reiki, a lot of them have like done Reiki 1 or Reiki 2, or they've looked into human design. So I feel like a lot of them are chasing. just they're kind of burnt out. So they're kind of that degree of commitment. I think a big thing is because I'm not into the healing aspect of it right now. I just really want to be that trigger, that bridge. And I feel like a lot of them come to me like, well, how can I do this? And I'm like, well, I have a list of people I can refer you to. Um, versus not having that healing design or that divine healing part of it. I don't have that part of it. So I think a lot
It
of
might be
them,
worth considering because then you're holding them because you can have the whole subcontract structure and they are, let me find my cursor.
Mhm.
Here it is. So you've given them their subcontract reading, then they're going along on their journey, but they'll hit different roadblocks because different parts of the contract trigger.
Mhm.
So then you can infuse, divine healing session as they need it here and here and here. But you have the overall framework of the soul contract guiding you and them. So it means when they see how powerful this is, you can unlock them from the blockages because you know what they are from the soul contract. Then they'll move forward, and regular sessions of the divine healing will unlock them to other levels. So that's very good for creating repeat business and also satisfying for you as a practitioner because you see, oh my God, they're making this big leap and
Yeah.
they're progressing. So that's something to consider for your business model there because the two go well together because once they trust this because it's so accurate and they'll trust this when they see how powerful it is. And they say, okay, Melissa's the one to go to because she knows who I am. She has a really powerful tool called divine healing and they'll transform. So you can hold them for many years through their journey. Okay, so it's not just here's what you got. Okay, off you go and do it. You're helping them and facilitating
Yeah.
them to get on with it. So that's something to consider for
I,
your business
yeah, I
model.
definitely feel that void where I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm still like, I'm walking that fence and I'm like, stepping, it's like I have two sides. I'm like, I slip on one. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with that part of it. Do I want to go into the healing part of it or more the triggering or catalyst to push them into that? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do. Um, Depends what you want to do. But it is quite satisfying seeing someone progress having done their chart for many years. So have you got threes in your chart? Subcontract
I
three?
don't. Just in my I believe my married name I do.
Yeah. See, threes like to see the outcome, the result of their actions. So I think it might satisfy something deep in you. My client is, I feel like my client is progressing after I explained it all and actually doing something about it. I'm helping them. So just something to consider.
Yeah, I think it's my spiritual karma has the threes.
Yeah. Okay. So how spiritually evolved would you say they are? Some of these people
Spiritually involved,
evolved,
evolved.
evolved.
Evolved. I'm thinking I think they're still kind of like still trying to really comprehend what spirit is, where I feel like some of that's very evolved, understands that we're kind of having that experience through the human form, where a lot of these people are still don't really understand that concept, I think that I'm taking on.
Yeah.
So I think they're not super evolved, no.
Okay. Yeah. So the divine healing will help you dissolve their ego so they can become more conscious as well. Another thing to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. And also with a repeat business, that means you don't have to keep looking for new clients continuously and build up a practice where you're giving these initial readings and catalyzing them, then holding the space for them to grow and teaching them accordingly. Just an idea. So a lot of our practitioners do that. They do both. So where do these guys hang out?
So I'm getting more like word of mouth right now. So social media, um, through organizations that we've kind of belonged to. And that's really where I think a lot of the leadership teams through my husband's side, once I come from that place of not so woo-woo, I think if I can really bring it into more of a 2D, but I think right now it's mostly social media
Yep.
or through word of mouth. I get a lot of like emails saying, oh, so and so referred me to you.
Okay.
And I also do some mediumship work too. That's really kind of come online strangely. It's so magical. Like it just kind of really opened up. So I'm trying to, which I feel is very healing for people. But that's been, so I've been kind of looking more towards the evidence of that. And just because I feel like my disempowerment, a lot of times when the soul, when goes back, the body returns and someone that they just can't connect with, especially when it comes to like a disempowerment. I think if I get a message that way, especially when it comes through like a generational or ancestral thing, I feel like that part gets very healing for them. Like it gets some kind of, they weren't able to say something before they left, and now they can get that back.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about your ideal client avatar? Will you feedback?
I'm thinking with my ideal avatar is really someone that's really stepping into coming into I feel like a lot of them is just what I would track is really for them, the ones that are just chasing the light, the ones that are just they're looking into all these different modalities because I feel like I was that person, and I feel like if I had this much earlier, I probably would have shifted. I mean, I always feel like it's divine time, but I can actually save people maybe more time, more years to open up versus going, oh yeah, a decade went by. um, that's kind of my ideal client are really the ones that are just waking up and understanding what an awakening is, what a repair is, what a correction is, and kind of stepping into that.
Okay. So let me give you feedback.
Okay.
So the gender is about 90% woman. Okay. Young ones, 23 to 24, some 35 to 40, some in their 50 to 70 years coming into mastery. So a good blend of people. Okay. Financially, most are struggling. Okay. Um, they're just waking up. All right. So it's a 16 market, probably 16/7 market. People expressing spiritual concepts in plain English to them in the soul contract work. Might have done a bit of Reiki, one or two. And they're looking to break through. They're bridging into awakening out of the old life. They're looking for the light. They're trying to break free from the matrix. Okay, so you're catalyzing them to awaken, to see there's much more than just the matrix, 3D matrix here. Okay? And coming to you from word of mouth and social media. So people are finding you from that. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. I feel like one thing that came to me is I think it's parents that want to start raising their children consciously too.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a big thing I think I'm feeling that attraction to, because that was a big thing that was my big aha moment before I had my kids. I wanted to raise them consciously, but didn't know really what that meant. So I went through the homeschool route and homeschooled them. But yeah, I definitely feel like they're very open. Like 18-year-old is looking at all the theology, all the spiritual. He's always been very connected. And then my 21-year-old he's so beyond Gnostic. I don't even know where he gets in from his information, how he brings it in. But yeah, so I feel like I've done that, if that makes sense. I can come from a place saying I did raise my kids consciously. Um, Not saying you have to homeschool, but there's still a way to be that lighthouse, right? Even in the family.
Yeah. Yeah. Homeschooling is pretty challenging, but that's probably a better education than they would get in school. So my son used to say to me, I learned more about spirituality in the car on the school run, Dad, than I do at school, which was very telling when he said that to me one day. We'd always conversations about the matrix and what's really going on, how the world really works, which he was completely into. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
my kids are so conscious. My oldest actually told me one day that he goes, I'm going to revoke your spiritual license the way you just talked to me. So when he can see that and correct me in a way to bring me back in alignment, I thought, how beautiful is that? We do need those small reminders if we do get off our track, right? But we're never going to be perfect. I always told him, I said, I am not, I might be been built in that image, but I'm not perfect in that image.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, so you've got your gift, which is awakening, light to, dark to light, people just starting, and you've got your ideal client avatar, wide range of people just trying to find the light. So it sounds like it's a good match because they're asking a question about how do I move forward, and you're answering them with what you're offering. Okay, because when you put a question to the universe, there's always an answer. So I think you're underway. How does that feel?
Feels good. It feels like, and I feel like this is the people that I come across too. They're just seeking validation, right? And not in the way of saying, oh, you're doing great, that kind of validation. I want to say more confirmation that it's just saying that they are stepping into and they're doing, how does it work? Because I don't like that word validation. It's just that they're getting like, yeah, I'm on the right path and I'm being steered versus. And I feel like that's the thing is like I'm the one with the flashlight. So yeah, that feels good that I'm like just follow the flashlight.
Yep. Okay. Next. So let me talk about the training, the full training in marketing and manifesting your
Yeah.
business. This obviously went a bit quicker because we wasn't a whole group practicing in breakout rooms. Um, so we're doing this two training, I think 20th to 21st of June. So we go through, we just did this bit here, becoming a spiritual entrepreneur. What is your gift of service? Because that's the core of the whole business. Getting there requires quite a few other things to work on. So we talk about how to dissolve the ego, as we showed you earlier. This is your business. This is you, your ego. The ego is actually in the way of full manifestation of our true purpose. But the dissolution and the lessons of the ego are our training for our life personally and for our business. So it's all part of the same thing. Talk about how to dissolve the ego. We talk about your home energy. It's very important because home energy is the foundation from which we run our business, most of us. We just talk about the audience. So we know Melissa's here, her audience is here. Talk about how do you connect with this tribe when you're using social media and word of mouth. There's lots of other ways to do it as well. We talk about that, okay? Because they got to find you because there's a lot of people out there doing stuff, okay? And how do you differentiate yourself? How do you shine amongst all the noise uh, that's out there? How do you attract your ideal client avatar? And if you're very focused on what you're doing, then those people will come, despite all the other noise. And we talk about how business success is an inside job, in brackets, emotionally. The internal journey, investment in ourselves emotionally, is as equally important as healers and facilitators as the external journey of actually manifesting the business outside. Most 3D business owners don't ignore the internal journey altogether, and they'll hit a limit. But if the more you work on yourself, clear yourself emotionally, the better the business will run. We talk about how to reconcile the feminine and masculine within to deliver your gifts, your skills to the work. Most people in this business, the majority tend to be women, but they need to take the feminine gift. Even the men who do this are more feminine in the flow, and need to wrap it in enough masculine structure to deliver it to the world. So there's always a conflict with that. Okay, because a lot of people who are more feminine think, oh, yuck, business and money, and don't like any of that. But if you in marketing and selling things, we're not really selling things, we're sharing information. So you've got to have both to actually deliver the gift. Otherwise, you just sit there getting dusty. Okay. So we talk about how to stay connected with the training energy, the workshops we run in the communities. Okay. Because that's your support. Because light workers by default want to do everything themselves, but that's hard work. And you only get about 15–20% of the mission done. But if you work as a team overall, then a lot more gets done by mutual support.
Mhm.
How to escape from the corporate matrix. I have quite a lot of people wanting to escape. They want to do something more alternative to make a difference in the world rather than making a difference to the company's bottom line. Can we talk about how to do that? That's definitely a 3D to a 5D mindset shift.
Mhm.
We'll talk about what is the most effective form of marketing for your gift of service to reach your ideal client avatar. How do we do that? Why business names are important. Well, you know that from stock contract level 3, the vibration of the name
Mhm.
can attract the right ideal client avatar for the right type of service. There's a real art to that. Talk about how that
Mhm.
works. Okay. And okay, we've got our avatar, got our gift of service, figured out how to reach them. Okay, how do I roll my services out? Should I put one out, put them all out at once? What do I do? Talk about what works there. We talk about channels to market. And your channels to market are word of mouth and social media, but there are lots of other ones as well.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we talk about sales funnel webinars. We talk about how we at Centre for Conscious Ascension run our webinar systems. We had our webinar funnel designed by one of the practitioners who does state-of-the-art internet marketing, and that's grew us into a global business. We talk about how those concepts work and how we do that so that people can take from it what they wish, what actually works. And then what's my spiritual business plan? I remember when I was in the corporate world, we always have a business plan, a long-range financial plan for 15, 20 years out. So what's a spiritual business plan? It's quite a different animal altogether to what happens in corporate, but there is one. But how do you access that? And then we'll have a guest speaker to help get you out in the world as well.
Mhm.
How's all that sound?
Yeah, it definitely is what I've been seeking because I think there's a gal that done this whole contract work with you. I can't think of her name. It starts with the G because I think she does a lot with women in business or just business owners.
Jenny, yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually, wanting to, I couldn't find her. She's on my list. I have a list, but I wanted to kind of find out too, like how she went from like maybe non-woo-woo, you know, to, I don't know. I don't know much about her. I just saw her on, I don't know if it was on one of the Facebook pages or something.
Yeah. Yeah, she's restructuring her business at the moment. So I'm not quite sure where she is. It's Jenny. So yeah. Okay. So any questions on that? That was just an overview of it's a 2-day introduction to the broad structure of how to set up a
Okay.
5D love-based business and to let go of all the 3D things we're imprinted with, which don't work that well in a 5D business. So it's saying
Hmm.
all the elements you need that are important. And as you
Yeah.
develop all of them, then you've got a much better chance of succeeding with a service love-based business.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's definitely a need. I think just me, no, I don't know where it sits in my chart, but I definitely need accountability. And I think someone that's it's the discipline because I think it might be my 11 twos, but I definitely need that structure to when I start to roll something out. That's how I was with my Reiki. To become a Reiki master, I had to have a very strong teacher. And she did. She was amazing. She was Chinese and she was in the military when she came over to the States. She was in the Navy. Very, like I said, she kept me on track. Otherwise, I think I would have probably just took what I needed, but I think I was able to grasp every concept that she shared. And I need that, I think, to really be proficient. So this is what I've been really leaning to. So when I saw it, I was like, I think it's good time because she told me that my business will be running very proficiency in September. So I think this is just one of the elements that I need to step into that.
Yeah, we designed this because majority of our practitioners have 11 twos, like 70-80%. So it's designed to give the high dimensional structure of
Mhm.
the energetics. And once you've got that in place, you see it works, then you can relax. And when you relax, things flow
Yeah.
because you know what you're doing. Yeah, you
Mhm.
see. And also we teach you what not to do as well,
Yeah.
which will come
Yeah.
unconsciously from the programming of the matrix.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing I think my husband's been like, let's go to Go Level and get your website and get the funnel. And I just said, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll do it myself. But he's like, this is going to take so much stress off if you can just people come in and sign up and pay and go on your calendar. So somehow I'm resisting it there. I'm not sure, but I think maybe too, it might be I need this extra step here to really figure out how I want to structure this. I don't want to throw something out there and then maybe I get an overwhelming amount of clients and I really don't want to overwhelm amount of clients, right? I feel like the really, do I want to work 2 times a week? Because I also work for a company. So, yeah, that's I think a big thing. I've been really like, do I want to do this 100%? But ultimately, I think my husband and I see each other maybe working in more of a retreat sense on site. Like through our property where we bring in workshop teams, right? Implementing his thing and then also implementing my thing.
Yeah. Well, be a nice problem to have too many clients. So
I know. I'm not sending that out there. I'm like, they can come, but I can always refer. But I have had, especially with adding the mediumship slightly, I've had to tell people I can't work with them every week. I don't think it's fair for them. I think they need to kind of, I really want people to come into their power. I feel like everyone has this gift. They just need to really come into it, right?
mm,
And that's a big thing. That's the thing. I just really want to be that bridge for people and just say, hey, I can take you halfway, but I'll take you to the water, but I can't make you drink.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know why that comes to me, but that's what I keep kind of saying.
yeah. Well, we can give you the structure so you can
Yeah.
create all of that. So,
Yeah.
so the next we run this, doing one of these this year. Um, runs the 20th to 21st of June, marketing and manifesting your business. Um, the total fee is £367. It's about $462. I think the exchange rate's changed. Let me look at that.
It's on the weekend. Perfect.
On the weekend, when people who come to us are still doing normal jobs, it's about $500. Okay. Um, and the deposit's £124, which is
Okay. Do you know,
$170.
so I'm looking at my calendar and of course I have something on Saturday from 11 a.m. Well, I don't know what time.
Starts at 12:30
UK.
12:30 UK. So what? You're in
Um,
Colorado. It's about 7 hours behind, isn't it?
yeah, so I think it's always been kind of early in the morning. I'm just trying to think if this would,
So what time is it there now?
it's 10.
Okay, so we are 7 hours. So it starts at 5:30 in the morning your time.
Okay.
And it'll
And we're
run
done about what time you think?
1:30.
1:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's experiential. You work with all the other people.
All right. I'm just going to see when I have this. I have this class that I think I book out kind of like these different things. So this one's from June. Yeah, I'll just figure out if they could maybe of course, of course.
Or is there a video you can watch of the other class?
Oh, like maybe that day I could watch the video of another class, is what you're thinking?
You know, of that class you normally go to. Do they make a video of it and you watch it
Oh,
later?
video. Yeah, they don't, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the thing with them. They don't record them.
Maybe you could ask them.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ask them. Meanwhile, I can't remember what their policy is, but I definitely need to focus on this. They might be able to switch something around for me.
Yeah,
Um, I always say it's never, when you have two things that are amazing, It's just coming to make the decision on what is, and me, it's always what's going to launch me forward more. And I know this is going to launch me more forward. I just have to deal with this.
Yeah. So you guys watching, you can find out more at marketingandmanifestingyourbusiness.com. That'll take you to our website. I'll just find it for you, where you can find out more details of the training here.
Perfect.
So it's under trainings, under business development. So
Okay.
centerforconsciousascension.net is the main website. Just click on trainings, business development. This gives a summary of all the things you'll learn on this.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. And
Okay.
we talk about the essence of the training here, and Tony and I. Tony is our training coordinator. She sort of runs the business on a day-to-day level. We talk about all the things, some of the things we just talked about now here. Okay. You can hear what other people said about it here.
Oh yeah, I see some faces I
You probably
remember.
recognize some of these guys. They're in the same classes as you. Okay. A lot of people are trying to do this by themselves, but it sort of gives you camaraderie, a group to work with. So how to basically helps you get out there. And it's a fifth dimensional love, unity, conscious love, and service-based business. Okay. So 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 in Europe, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Central, 5:30 a.m. Mountain where you are in Colorado, 4:30 a.m. in Pacific. And it's much later out in Asia. Australia, it's 9:30 p.m. So it's quite late. But we run this once or twice a year.
Okay.
Only once this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I will sign up after this. I'm going to reach out to them. I think with this much advance notice, maybe they can shift me into another another class. Is what I'm going to ask.
Yeah. So if you got any questions, you can email me. Anyone else who's watching this, you can get hold of me. Just go to if you've registered, you'll get my email address. Use the same one you see on there. If you're watching the YouTube, just you can reach us on the contact form on the website, which is there's a thing at the bottom here. Where's it gone? Got frequently asked questions, and also if you want to ask more questions, you can ask a 15-minute discovery call with Antonia, our training coordinator, or you can put a question here by email. Okay, she'll help you out there. All right.
Perfect.
Well, thanks, Melissa. We got something done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hopefully it'll move you forward a bit. All right.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm stepping into it now, and I just feel like this is kind of maybe that missing puzzle to really kind of put all my ducks in order on direction. Because it's nice to hear from my husband, but also, I have to take the other thing too, where he's like I told you originally, he's like, got to bring the non-woo-woo back. Like he's like, and it is, I think because I do not have that 16 in my chart, I tend to count, it sounds sometimes gibberish, I think, to some people, or they're just like, what are you telling me? Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So I think because you've got an 11-2, it'll give you enough structure with an 11-2 energy from the soul contract, but you need enough structure to build it in your consciousness and unconsciousness. We hit a critical mass, where it goes click, then you'll be ready to go. That's the reason you're not actually ready to go yet, because there's not enough pieces in place so you feel confident you can make it happen. And the idea is to give you enough pieces so you know what you're doing and you can actually start taking action.
yeah, it's in my
That's the point of
spiritual
this.
goals. Yeah, it's my spiritual goals.
Yeah.
It's placed perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final questions?
Nope, I think you able to cover pretty much everything I had. I kind of came in with no expectations, so it just really kind of landed well. So I'm
Okay.
going to sign up next. I have to reach out to my other thing. I did notice they had an AM class, so they might be able to move me up into a different class. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your time and for engaging. So I
Thanks.
hope that was helpful. It was helpful to you guys
Yeah, it was
watching
very
as well.
helpful. Yes, I'm going to sign up right after this because if I don't carve it on my calendar, like I said, the other thing was not, it was just something I was going to do because I had nothing planned. So,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Melissa. Nice to see you again. Connect.
yeah, you too, Nicholas.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.